What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Is the altcoin season about to start, and has it started? Well, short answer to has it started is no. I'm waiting for one more confirmation, and I'm going to be pointing out that confirmation I'm looking for very shortly. Also, I'm going to be taking a look into quite a few altcoin setups here later in this video and the price targets in the short term. So make sure you guys are staying around for that, which would include Terra Luna Classic, MOG USDT, okay, MOG coin, as well as Moonwell, and seeing what has happened in this market since the last time I have actually covered it. Now, if you guys are new to this channel, you guys should know that I dive deep into the charts every day to find the moves before they actually happen, with technical analysis, with charts. So if you guys do want to learn technical analysis and see this market much more clearly for yourselves, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. Also, if you guys want to have any technical analysis requests on any markets in the crypto markets, any altcoins, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. I will pick one request every day and do it on the show live for you guys. Now let's go ahead and take a look into Bitcoin. Why am I looking into Bitcoin? First things first is because it is the driver of the crypto markets. If it dumps, then you can expect your altcoins to be dumping as well, or very shortly after. This is why I take a look into Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin looks bullish, that's going to bring up the rest of the markets. Now, Bitcoin had quite a bit of a pullback yesterday since it has hit that 105K level again, which has been short-term resistance. We don't really have that much data there. So it has gone up to 105 again before getting rejected. And I talked about a possible cup and handle pattern scenario. I think that has to be invalidated now, okay? Since we have actually made on some of these higher, shorter time frames, I am seeing an equal or possibly even a lower low on this side of the pattern here. Okay, now this pattern, okay, very familiar pattern. Since it has hit 105K, it has formed a falling wedge pattern. Okay, but this falling wedge is more unique because bears actually try to push this price action down, right? Try to actually break down from this falling wedge. I've been on both sides of the trade. As a short seller, I think shorting a breakdown of a falling wedge is pretty risky. Even if I am in the trade, I'll be looking for to actually take profits pretty quickly in case it's a bear trap. And in this case, it is, because price action broke down not too far from the pattern before the bulls actually just bought it up, okay, and ends up back into the pattern. That is classic bear trap, okay? Now, it is at the top trend line of this falling wedge, okay? The confirmation I am looking for is for Bitcoin to actually break above 110K, of course. If Bitcoin doesn't get that new all-time high, then I am not expecting the altcoin markets to make new all-time highs. We could even take a look into the total 3 chart in just a little bit. Now I have actually added more to my bag after this idea here, okay? Because it's a bear trap. Now, what are we looking at here? Let's take a look into a slightly higher time frame here, okay? This looks like it's a double bottom, right? So one bottom, second bottom here. And double bottoms are usually bullish, okay? So I am not changing the measure targets of that possible cup and handle pattern I talked about yesterday, because it's going to be the same measurement as a double bottom pattern, which is basically you measure from the top to the bottom of the pattern, and then you put that measurement back on top of the pattern. That will still give us about just right underneath 110K here, okay? So I am looking for Bitcoin to break new all-time highs before actually officially saying that altcoin season has started, even though altcoin markets is still looking very good right now, and I'm gonna talk about why. Total 3, which is total altcoin market cap excluding Ethereum, daily time frame, we have actually broke on top of the daily 200 SMA, and that has all kinds of significance for the bulls. It has broken out of this falling wedge pattern, which we have been talking about for quite some time now. Measure target is still in play, about $1.1 trillion. Okay. Now, measure targets are give or take, right? It could be more, it could be less, it could be way more, it could be way less. So, but it's still a very good idea to just get an idea of where the price action could be going. Nothing in this market is 100%, but it's still good to get an idea. Now, it is retesting that daily 200 SMA, right? I usually like to enter on retest with a higher low, okay? In this case, I think I could probably see a higher low on the 3-day time frame here, right? And it is, right? We have that red candle, that higher low trajectory, and when we hold a higher low, we can expect a higher high, okay? That is just the technical definition of an uptrend. Higher highs and higher lows until the higher low is broken. All right, so let's take a look into ES1 very quick. This is important because ES1 is the S&P 500 mini futures. It has very high correlation with Bitcoin, right? It can usually be served as a front running signal for Bitcoin. And right now it is also looking good. And let me say why, because it has basically crossed the daily 200 a couple days ago, right? And it's still staying above it for all sorts of significance. I don't see any turbulence coming from S&P 500 at this time. Okay, major turbulence. So that is good for the crypto markets. Now let's go ahead and go to Terra Luna Classic first. Okay. Now this is a very high potential search that popped up on my vidIQ today, which is basically it tells me, what's going to be a potentially high search idea that the internet could be searching for. And Terra Luna Classic actually came up. Right, this is going to be LUNC USDT. And let's take a look into what could be happening in this market. It is a bigger altcoin, top 200, okay? It's not going to move as crazy as some of these smaller altcoins, but we're still going to take a look here and see what's going on, okay? So, first things first, when I actually take a look into an altcoin, I take a look into their monthly time frame. Okay, this is very important indicator, and take a look into their RSI readings on the monthly time frame to see if it's in overbought territory. Because if you guys actually take a look into altcoins that have overbought monthly RSI readings back in 2020, 2021, and I mean, tell me, has those altcoins even went back to those 2021 price levels since that overbought dump? So that's why it's very important to see if your altcoin is in overbought territory on the monthly time frame. In this case, it is not for Terra Luna Classic. It's actually closer to oversold. Okay. All right. Let's take a look into the weekly time frame here. Weekly time frame, very familiar pattern as we have been talking about, is the falling wedge pattern, right? Usually breaks to the upside. Measure move is going to be about 3 zeros and about 34 here. 0.00034. If it breaks out by this point, okay, if it doesn't, then move the measure move along the top trend line if the pattern is still intact. It could still break down from this pattern, and if that is the case, we'll come back here, we'll revisit the charts and see what has happened. So if you guys want to see more of Terra Luna Classic, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on this video. We'll come back if there's enough people wanting to see it. Let's take a look into a shorter time frame here. Daily time frame. I don't really see an actual pattern here, but it has broken on top of some daily moving averages at the daily 21 SMA as support right now, which is the blue line. Now, 4-hour time frame. Okay, this is going to be looking like a falling wedge pattern. Okay, falling wedge more clearly on the 2-hour time frame. Okay, if it breaks out by this point, measure move is going to be about 0.000, 4 zeros, and then 68. Okay, that is what I'm seeing for Terra Luna Classic. Let's take a look into MOG Coin, see what has happened, what's going on in this market here. All right, monthly time frame. We barely have a reading here, not in overbought territory, so not near a potential peak, right? If we're using data from 2021 as a reference. Weekly time frame here. Falling wedge pattern. Okay, it has broken out of this pattern a couple of weeks ago. Measure move for this pattern is going to be about quite a few zeros, followed by 245 here. So still quite a bit of target to go. Has just crossed over the weekly 21 SMA, but it is downward sloping. So chances of price action coming down to retest that weekly 21 SMA, which is currently at about 9.7. That's still going to be a pretty high chance, just speaking from experience here, okay? Let's take a look into the daily time frame. All right, I think we can, no particular pattern here. It hasn't crossed the daily 200 SMA yet, which is the orange line. Let's take a look into the 4-hour time frame here. Where I had it charted, this would be a descending triangle pattern, which is usually bearish, okay? Descending triangle patterns are usually bearish. Let's see if this, yep. And the breakout target, which is the opening of the pattern, and then you put it underneath the flat support, which will give you a bearish target of about 717. So that is still quite a bit of a breakdown here. So let's see what MOG Coin does. Okay. So to summarize here, we do see, on the higher time frame, there is quite a bit of bullish price targets, but on a shorter time frame, like the 4-hour, still quite a bit of a move from that descending triangle pattern. A potential move, right? So something to be watching out for, especially if the price action breaks that support. Let's take a look into Moonwell and see what has gone on in this market here. All right, we talked about Moonwell last time. Let's see what has changed. Weekly time frame. Still inside this falling wedge pattern. Okay. It hasn't broken out by this week, so it is getting pretty close to that top trend line. I'm just going to move this along 1 week later for the measure move, and we're getting a measure move now of about just right underneath 11 cents here on this weekly time frame. Okay, if and when price action hits that measure move, we're going to come back, So make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment on this video if you guys want to see more of Moonwell. We're going to come back and see how the price action is consolidating at that time and pull a price target based on that consolidation. If that price target is going to be going up or down before saying more. All right, so let's take a look into the daily time frame, see if we can get any idea on how this market's doing on a shorter time frame. Nope. Well, actually, here it is. This is a rising wedge, which is usually a bearish pattern. Okay. Rising wedge. You got sell signals on this RSI, and this is the daily time frame here. Okay. What is the measure move for this rising wedge pattern? Excuse me, let's go to a smaller time frame where I can actually. Yep, this is fine. This is fine. We get 3 candle wick touches. It doesn't have to be super exact. Okay. Measure move. Falling wedge. Opening of the pattern. Put it underneath a estimated breakdown point. Let's just say right here. This is the 4-hour time frame. And measure move is going to take you back down to about 2.5 cents. Okay, measure move on the shorter time frame. Now, falling wedges do typically break to the downside. Okay, I'm not saying this. It is just textbook technical analysis. Okay, and we do see quite a bit of sell signals on this RSI, bearish divergence on this RSI as well. So let's see where this price action ends up. Okay, it could still break to the upside, of course, but those odds are not in the bull's favor. All right, so that's basically what I'm seeing for Moonwell. This wraps it up for this video. Let me know if you guys have any questions, comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you guys next time. Have a great rest of the day.